the Comic Rehab. For all your comic book and magazine cleaning and pressing needs, contact the Comic Rehab, where we breathe new life into your old books.
Hey YouTube comic community, this is Jimmy the Geek Aficionado, back with another episode of Comic Rehab. I had a customer bring me this beautiful copy of Fantastic Four number 49 in a 4.5, and he's reviewed it and he thinks that we can get a better grade here. So we're going to crack this guy out of the case. We're going to look him over and see what we can do to it. And run it through the press and clean process and get it shipped off. So again, first things first, we're going to crack it out with my trusty little tool here and remove it from the case. So I do this in most of the videos, and I continue to do it so that everybody gets to see how I do it, and that's just by getting a little gap here at the bottom, and then just using this to crack it open. Now, sometimes you'll get a book that doesn't have an inner well in the case, and that's when you want to be even more careful, because then you'll be right up against the book. But this one has an inner well, so not that we can't be careful, but it does provide us with a little bit more leeway. So once we get it in there, we want to break the sides open a little bit more. Apologize for the glare and a little bit of shakiness in the camera. All right, here we go. Now, once we've cracked the case open, we can extract the inner well like that. Now, there's a lot of ways that you can do this. Some people use a razor blade. I prefer to use a pair of scissors because I can control it considerably better. So we're just gonna cut here right along the heat seal as far away from the book as we can possibly get so that we don't damage the book. That is our number one goal. Do no damage. All right. And then just a little bit up the side here, enough to slip the book out. And again, staying as far away from the book as we can, so as not to damage it. Now, obviously, a book like this, even at a 4.5, is still a solid grade. It has a decent value, and more importantly, this book was entrusted to me by a customer, so I want to ensure that I'm not going to put any more harm into the book. Just get this corner off, and there we go. All right, so now split it open, and we're gonna grab both sides of the book here. Make sure we don't leave anything behind, and just tease it on out. You know what, that is not quite where I want it to be over here. So just a little bit more. Be able to get that to open up. Boom, there we go. All right, try it again. And we are just gonna tease it on out. All right. Oof, sorry about that. Okay, now, put the book out of the inner well. We can now do the analysis. So stay tuned for that. All right. So the first thing that we're going to want to do is we want to check for areas that we can clean up. All right, and I'll use this little probe to just kind of point out some areas. So here you see in the yellows, I'll try to get a good angle on that. Get it near to the camera. You can see there's a little bit of grime in here that we can clean up. Some more on the surfboard and such. So that's an area that can be cleaned. And then on the back on the Silver Age books is usually where you see the most amount of grit and grime and dinginess. You can see it, here. And we'll just work through the whole of the back of the book and the areas in between where there's text and such, because we don't want to remove that. So just, in these white areas here, we can do that. And then we can use a product called Abserine to clean into the yellows and other colored areas that won't lift the color off, but it will remove the dirt and debris from it. All right, and then let's just check it out for structure, see how we're looking. All right, that looks good. Staples are intact, no holes. Now we do see a little bit of light shining through there, so that's a little bit of a slight staple tear. And that's visible right here. Now, if we get the lighting, here, I'll change the lighting up. We'll feed that back here. That's much better. You can kind of reflect across the back of the book, and you can see where there's bends and creases, particularly here along the spine, and those will press out, and that'll be helpful to the overall aesthetic. Do we think it's going to get higher than a 4.5? It's possible. It's definitely possible. Obviously these areas here, these color breaks, those won't be fixed, but they're not severe enough. So there's a potential for a 5, maybe even a 5.5. I don't know. We'll see. And yeah, see those bends? We'll lay those down real good. So what we'll do next is we'll clean it up, we'll press it, and we'll come back for a review before we send it off to CGC. So stay tuned for that. Okay, so we have completed the cleaning and pressing on this Fantastic Four number 49. And we're going to get some close-ups in here. As we saw before, sorry, we're going to get the camera to stop shaking. As we saw before, there was a lot of dirt in the yellows on the thumbs here. We've cleaned that out, and in the hands, as well as in the lettering. So that's been taken out, and you can see any of the bends have also been removed. Now, obviously, the wear, color breaks, can't do anything about those. And the same with the back. There's a lot of the cover bends that have been removed from there. But we still see the creasing, right? The remnants of the creasing. But that'll be okay. So overall, I think we're looking good on this one. This was a 4.5, and what we're looking for is potentially an upgrade to a 5.0. I think that we may have hit that mark, a 5.0 or a 5.5. It's very nice on the back, very clean, no existing dirt or debris. But again, we do have those. We have a minor stain right here. They may take off for that, and then a little bit of foxing or soiling here in the paper, if you can see that. So they'll take off for that. Of course, the spine creases there, And then we have some light cover creases through here as well. It's like chipping and bunching in these spots, and a little bit of wear to the corner. So all in all, I think we've got a good shot. And this video will air after we've received the books back. So stay tuned to the next segment where we reveal the grades. Thanks for joining. All right, so our book is now back from CGC. It was graded under the standard tier, which is for books with a value over $400 up to $1,000. The original grade was a 4.5 with cream to off-white pages. Again, we cleaned and pressed the front and back of the book, and let's see if we have a change. 4.5 cream to off-white pages, so no change on this. We just have a cleaner book with less pressable defects. Sadly, the remainder of the defects to the book, the color breaking creases and chips and such, unfortunately kept the book in the same grade. So proof that you can't win them all, but you can at least try. Let's stick around for the change in the value, and we'll talk to you soon.